Welcome to the Fantasy Football Endgame with your hosts, Pierre Camus and Chris Moncano. Welcome, guys. It's week 4 of the fantasy football season, and I'm bringing you defense streamers who can help you win in week 4. Defense streaming, you should all be streaming your defense unless you have one of those set and forget defenses, which are very rare. And I can't really think of one so far this year who's just really been like New England last year, Chicago a couple years ago, the Jags a few years ago. There doesn't really seem to be a defense that's just crushing every single week. So chances are you should be streaming. And I'm here to tell you which defenses you can trust this week. Before we get to that though, if you're new here, or even if you're not new here, if you haven't yet, subscribe below. We're bringing you daily fantasy football content that will help you win, crush, dominate your league. You don't want to miss out. So hit the subscribe button and click that bell notification so you get all of our content as soon as it goes live. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Week 4, defense streamers. One of my favorite things of fantasy football, if I play in DST leagues, defense special teams leagues, is streaming defenses. I think it's one of the biggest advantages you can have over the rest of your league. Too many guys just draft the defense and they just set it there, and it doesn't matter if they're playing Kansas City that week or whatever. They just leave that defense in. This is a way for you to get a huge edge over your league mates in leagues where you have defenses, which the majority of leagues still run. So let's get into it, bringing you my top 3 defensive streamers who can help you win this week. And again, we're looking for low-owned streamers that are likely on your waivers. Now, I'm going to start with one that doesn't quite meet the criteria because they are 58% rostered, but that means in 42% of the leagues out there, they're still available for you. So a lot of you guys will find this defense on your waivers, and I think the matchup is so good this week and the upside is so high that I had to mention them, and that's the LA Rams against the New York Giants. So go look. If they're available, they should without a doubt be your number one option this week. Giants allowing the 12th worst sack percentage in the NFL. The Rams should get tons of pressure on Daniel Jones this week. We saw this Giants offense last week against a beat-up 49ers defense looking horrible. They allowed 2 sacks, 2 fumbles. They only put 9 points on the board. Rams look like a great matchup. I know you're going to look and say, oh, but look at all the points the Bills put up on them last week. But, yeah, that's the Bills, man. Josh Allen is playing out of his mind right now. Daniel Jones is not. Daniel Jones looks like the quarterback we thought he was when they drafted him. So I love this matchup. I think the Rams are going to be all over Daniel Jones. I don't expect the Giants to be able to do much at all. Rams, my number one streaming option. But, again, a little higher rostered, so they may not be there for you. So let's talk about a couple more that are lower roster that you should be able to find. And I'm going to start with the New York Jets versus Denver on Thursday night at 6% roster. Now, I know everybody wants to play Denver this week. Like Denver versus the Jets, no-brainer. But hear me out. I actually like the Jets more than I like Denver, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we just got word that Brett Rippon, the nephew of one of my favorite quarterbacks, Mark Rippon, who led the football team to a Super Bowl in my lifetime. Thank you, Mark Rippon. Will be making his NFL debut. Now, he came in late in the game last week after Jeff Driscoll was terrible. He threw an interception. I think he might have gotten sacked once or twice. But regardless, Tampa Bay sacked Denver 6 times last week and got 2 interceptions and only held this offense to 10 points. I don't see Denver putting many points on the board. I don't expect Rippon to be any better than Driscoll was. Denver is giving up the 3rd highest sack percentage in the NFL. He's going to get hit early and often. It's going to be a tough night for him. It's Thursday night. It's a short week. He just got word he's a starter today. That does not give him a lot of time to prepare. I like the Jets as a great streaming option this week. Now, I do also like Denver on the other side of the ball as a streaming option. But here's my issue with Denver, right? Is the risk here is that Darnold, he doesn't take a lot of sacks. They're 18th in sack percentage. And Denver doesn't get a lot of pressure. They're 27th in sack percentage as a defense. So this isn't a great matchup in terms of, like, you can't just expect Sam Darnold to be getting hit all night. Sam Darnold they're not going to get a ton of pressure on Sam Darnold. Now, that's okay because the Jets offense is terrible, as we know, and Darnold has 4 interceptions through 3 games, so there's still the chance that Denver picks him off once or twice. So I still do very much like Denver And I think Denver is a great streaming option at 37% rostered. I just like the Jets more for all the reasons I just said. I think they have an opportunity to get more sacks. I think Rippon has just as much opportunity to turn the ball over as Sam Darnold does. I don't think either of these teams are going to score many points. I think it's going to be one of the worst Thursday night games we've ever seen. And that's saying something because we've seen some awful Thursday night games. So I like both these defenses. I just prefer the Jets a little more than Denver because of that potential upside. Denver's a nice, safe defensive play this week. I just don't think they have a ton of upside. Of course, they could always get a pick six or something, but outside of that, I don't see a lot of upside there. So, yeah, that's why I have the Jets ranked ahead of Denver. So, once again, my top three streaming options, the Rams, now they're a little higher rostered, so if they're not available, I get it. But if they are, I think you should grab them. Great defense against a terrible offense. That's what you want every day of the week. You're taking that every day of the week. Then it would be the Jets versus Denver at 6% rostered. And then on the other side, I like Denver versus the Jets as well at 37% rostered. So let me know below. Are you rolling with your typical defense this week? Are you streaming a defense? What defenses are you thinking about streaming? What defenses are available on your wire that you're curious about? Ask in the comments, and I'll get those answers for you and help you out. And do not forget, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, click that like button. We're bringing you content every single day that will help you win your fantasy leagues. We got start, sit help, time to panic on guys, risers, fallers, my streaming here. We're bringing you DraftKings content. And, of course, we go live every Sunday morning before the games to bring you the latest injury news, who's in, who's out, and answer your start-sit questions. So you don't want to miss that. Hit that subscribe button. Start winning. Start crushing your league. Start talking smack to all your league mates and having more fun playing fantasy football. Appreciate you guys listening, and I'll talk to you next time.